You can talk about ladies' penis here as much as you like. You're welcome to. Just don't post that weird thin dick ASCII or whatever that was in Eris's chat a long time ago. I don't want any thin or thick dicks. I don't want any Mario pooping on Rixtas. Like this, that you can keep that out. But the penis talk, bring it on in. This is nice and home here. So PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5. I'm excited. I'm excited not because of the console so much, but because it means that games are now going to be built on a higher tier, right? So PlayStation and Xbox are going to be pushing the standard of game fidelity and graphical prowess to a more PC level. Mario pooping on Lothire? Fuck you. Moneybag. Smile. Fucking... Now all our games on PC are going to be much better looking. They're going to... Well, here's the thing, right? Much better looking? I said much better looking, but I don't even know. Like, I have been disappointed with the PlayStation 4 and this generation. I'm disappointed. From PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3, it was a big technical jump, but the games sucked. Like, there became a point in the PlayStation 3's life cycle very early where it was just prohibitively expensive to make and play games on that PS3. And then after the PS3 moved to PS4, things got a little better because they finally adopted the PC architect, and it worked. But even the PlayStation 4, the jump between 3 and 4, just, I don't know. I saw the difference, but it didn't really, it was more like a refinement of what we already had, you know? And so going to PlayStation 5, I don't really have any hope that there's going to be like a significant improvement. You know, we've already seen what current PC hardware can do. But most games are made using the PlayStation 4 in that generation. I'm not even really sure. Is this 8th generation? So are we moving on to the 9th? I'm not even sure which one we're on. But I don't really have a lot of hope that there's going to be a massive technical leap in terms of what we're actually looking at with our eyes. I think we're going to be seeing much the same. New Xbox is the next big improvement. Yeah, I'll eat my fucking hat that I don't have. I'll eat Eris's hat. I'll eat Eris's old hat he used to wear when he fucking did those Tekken tutorials and stuff like that with Rip and shit. I'll eat Eris's hat if the next Xbox is some sort of big thing on the new kid on the block, alright? I will. I'll chomp down on that ass if you're serious. But I don't think you is. I think you just be playing. I think you just be playing. There's no way the Xbox is going to be any good. Now, the PlayStation 5, though. My fedora broke. My fucking brother broke it. Oh, okay, I'll talk about that later. Yeah, but the PS5. So the PS5 itself, right? I'm not really that excited technical-wise, but there are some cool things about it. SSD, I'm really excited. I like the SSD in my PC here. I think it's fucking phenomenally good. I absolutely love this SSD. And I can't wait for a PS5 to have it. I think that's a really great modern tech that's been around for PCs forever, but not forever, but it's been around a long time. So having it in a game console is muy bueno. I think it's going to be fantastic. 64 gigs. Yeah, not very big. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Whatever the size is. But, you know, I think really... So the other thing... There's two things here that I'm sketchy about that. That's really about the only thing I do like, is that SSD. Ray tracing is going to be built into the system, which... Ray tracing is something that's been around forever, but you've always had the software side to that. You know, the software in stuff help do ray tracing. Now there's been a push for physical hardware to do the ray tracing so that you can save that software room for more game development shit. I don't think that's going to help. I don't think it's going to help. I mean, I don't think anybody really cares about ray tracing. Nobody really cares. It's not like this amazing movie experience or anything. It doesn't do much with ray tracing. It's never been used that much, and it's just not that amazing. Maybe it'll free up some space for some other shit, but I just don't see the immediate benefits of caring about, you know, switching your ray trace ability to a hardware. It doesn't seem that amazing. You think they skip SSDs and move on to M2s? It will always be 5 years behind. The thing is like, You can't go with the most modern of stuff because you've got to sell the damn thing to people that want to, that have to afford it, right? This system's got to be $399 or something like that, otherwise people are not going to be down, $399 for a basic console, and then maybe $499 for a fucking 4K television version or some shit like that, you know what I mean? And I gotta decide which one I'm gonna get, because I'm a fucking streamer, and I have to get one of them. So I don't even have a 4K TV, but I'm gonna get it. I'll probably get the PS5. I don't have a choice. I have to be here playing games for you fucking schmucks. So I might as well get a PS5. I'm not excited. I'm not happy about it. But whatever. I mean, so the ray tracing is gonna suck. But the main fucking thing that I think is really awful is they're going for more gimmicks on the controller, right? And I've complimented this controller plenty, the DualShock 4. I like this thing. I think this is really decent. I thought the DualShock 3 was a little better, but, in terms of plugging this into your PC and just having a go, I think this is perfect. It works really well. I wish the triggers were better and all that shit. I can't do that for a PS4. How do you do that? Yeah, so I don't like the triggers and whatever, but I was hoping the PS5 might refine that, might do a little bit better. Turns out they're doubling down on a lot of this shit. Instead of fucking having just a nice controller, they're gonna have some sort of a haptic feedback system where, like, right now you can pull a trigger and it's just a trigger, right? It's not very nice. It's just a standard trigger, right? It doesn't do much. They're gonna make it so, like, if depending on what you're doing, there's gonna be like a rumble pack for your trigger. So it's gonna be harder to pull that trigger if you're on like a bowstring, or if you're driving a car down a muddy path and you're holding it down, right? You're gonna feel it kind of bump and grind in your finger there a little bit, like a car would, over such a substance. Wildly gimmicky, and just absolutely, there's no way that's going to be interesting to anybody. There's no way anybody's ever going to use it. Nobody even uses this touchpad. Do you realize that? Nobody does anything with this touchpad in the middle. It's utterly pointless. You can't do anything with it. It's just a weird little... I can control my mouse on PC when I plug it in, but that's all I can do. I don't know. They're coming up with... There's another speaker on it, which I'm not even in love with this speaker. There's no real... I don't know. This was cool to have codexes play through in Metal Gear Solid 5, but that was about it. And now it's going to have like 2 rumble packs for each side, and it's going to do different things. It's just... I'm really not happy to hear that they're just trying to reinvent this rumble wheel. I'm not happy about that. But, I mean... They said it was going to be a little bit bigger, which, I mean, I'm fine with the size. It's going to be still lighter than an Xbox controller, but maybe a little heavier than what we have here, so I don't know. But at least it's a USB-C type, so this is probably the best news, which is sad. This fucking thing, the USB Micro, or whatever it is. I think it's just USB Micro. This thing is not designed to stay plugged into a port while you're playing and jostling it around. I have had to buy several replacements because after maybe a couple months of use, this wire, I use this wire on my PC, I use this wire for my PS4, and I need it on the PC and I have to charge on the PS4, it will snap off. It becomes unlockable. In fact, this one is the very problem I have right now. See how I can slide it in and it just comes right out. There's no locking. It's because this thing has been bent. Because it's not designed to rest like this. You see in the air how it's just drooping down like that? This little curvature that's going on? And then you do shit like this, right? Because you're playing. That is causing it to bend. And so now it doesn't lock in place. It just falls right out. And it doesn't charge. So you have to buy a brand new one. Granted, it's like $10 for a pack of 3 or some shit. But it's really annoying, and I hate it. USB Type-C. We all have that in modern phones now. I don't, because I'm still trying to get a new phone, and I'll talk about that too. That shit is a lot more durable. It's not this micro shit. It's going to plug in And supposedly, it's not going to have that issue. It's going to be much more rigid at the port point, so you can keep it plugged in, toss it around, and you won't be fucking things up. I'm looking forward to that, especially because I need a new way of plugging this into the PC without it fucking snapping. This thing is like, it's a nightmare when I try and use this thing on PC and this wire is doing this. So I buy backup to backup wire so I don't have to deal with it. That's probably the most exciting thing about the controller. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of shit, right? Speaker, whatever, haptic feedback, fucking tougher triggers. I wish the triggers were just, I wish they weren't flared out like this, and I wish they were smooth and they were like proper, like Xbox triggers. You know, I wish they were something like that. These are just some weird idea that really, it's fine, I guess, but it really sucked. I didn't like it. Is it original USB? So the new one is a USB Type-C. The USB Type-C is basically the new, well, I don't know if it's even new at this point, but a few years ago, it was a new USB. So the original USB, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, you're familiar with those, because those are in everything. And then you've got the small version of the USB, which is a USB Micro. And so now the next step is the USB Type-C. The USB Type-C is actually pretty damn impressive because you can technically increase the size of the USB Type-C wiring. You can the amount of power that you can put through a USB Type-C is equivalent, or I think actually surpasses, an HDMI cable. So you can use USB Type-C to forward or pass through video and audio from another video audio source to another, which is a very powerful thing to do. We have HDMI cables to do that because we need a pretty sturdy, a pretty strong cord to do that, especially when we're talking 4K. USB Type-C can do that. USB can't. It's just too weak. But the USB Type-C can do it. I don't know if it needs like special modification or something, but the potential to do that is there. And one of the main selling points of Type-C was that theoretically it could become the God wire. It could be the wire that replaces all your wires. You could have a TV that has a USB Type-C connection to whatever cable box you got, whatever game system you got, whatever PC you got, whatever laptop, whatever phone. You would just be able to use USB Type-C in everything. And it would be the one wire that connects all your device. It's not a patented Apple thing or an Android thing or a Microsoft thing or anything. It's not patented in that way. It's an open kind of technology that everybody can adopt and use, which is pretty cool. And the PlayStation 5 is going to have that for its connector for the controller. Pretty cool. I like that. It's basically the next step in USB shit, which, I mean, for a while I got pretty sick of figuring out USB Type 2s and 3s. I constantly forget if the blue ones are Type 3 or if the yellow ones are Type 2 and yada yada yada. So, there you go. I mean, PlayStation 5, it's not sounding, it itself is not sounding amazing. I am kind of hyped for it, mostly because I have been so happy with my PC this year since you guys helped me build this thing. And I've been playing a lot of games on it. Not as much as I've been renting games on PS4. But everything that I have played on PC has ran really great. Tekken's probably the highest point of game that we run on that PC. And it runs like a dream. And I think, I mean, moving forward, PC really is the thing I'm enjoying the most. I would like to keep pace. I'd like to keep pace with my PC, improve the graphics card from a 1070 to whatever I can next. The thing is that I don't really do the 4K on my PC, so I'm thinking the 1070 is going to do me just fine for this next generation of consoles. You know what I mean? That shit should be fine. I should be good to go because the 1070 is designed for 4K, VR, all that shit. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't use it for that, so my games run better because I just do standard 1080. Maybe I'll jump up to 1440 if I get a TV that supports it. I might do that, but honestly, I'm really happy where it's at. What do you think of Xbox Scarlet? I honestly don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about Xbox Scarlet. I've heard nothing. I don't know anything. Like, as far as I'm aware, Scarlet isn't even, like, a real thing yet, right? They've talked about it, but just like the PlayStation 5 was talked about, we didn't know anything. Now we have concrete proof that we know what it is. It's coming out, 2020 holiday, whatever that is. What's up, Freed? How's it going? And I don't know about the Xbox Scarlet. I haven't heard much of anything about it. We don't know a release date. We don't know anything like that. I don't know the technical whatevers about it either. But in any case, I can't think of I can't think of anything positive. I still hate Xbox. Yeah, I hate it. I lived through the time where PlayStation was the thing to have. I lived through that phase where, everybody that didn't play games started buying an Xbox, and fucking everyone and their goddamn dog was playing Halo and Madden and Call of Duty all day. And all we would do is, all my friends would want to do is fucking hook up the Xboxes together and go play Halo at a LAN party. You know what I mean? Like, cool. I would have liked to have done that with Counter-Strike. I enjoyed Counter-Strike back in the day. I would have loved to do that. But no, these guys wanted to do it with Halo. And then Halo 2. And it was like, oh man, I'm sick of this Xbox shit. I hate that brought in all these guys to the fold where it was like totally okay to play games now because the guy who plays football now plays football on his game console. Now it's okay. You know what I mean? So I always blamed Xbox for that. I hated it. They fucking... I won't even get into it because it's not fair. It's not their fault. They were just targeting a market, right? That's all they were doing. So it's not their fault. But fuck them. I can't think of an Xbox being that good. That's really what I mean. I mean, the Xbox is going to be a fine console. I don't know if it's going to be better or worse than a PS5. Maybe they'll be right on top of each other. Who's to say? But I've always liked Sony. So I'll just stay with them unless the Xbox comes out with something amazingly good. But I'm so certain it won't. I'll just get a PS5, play whatever exclusives, try and be a little more PC on my shit, try and play more PC games. It really just depends on the future, right? Because I love renting shit. I don't want to buy stuff. I don't like pirating either because that's a difficult thing to do. I don't really enjoy that. So, I am excited, though. I want to see the next generation bump things up, and I want to see where it goes. It's probably just going to be more AAA movies, but whatever. I want to see it. Will Sony do AMD or Nvidia? That I'm not sure. I actually don't know. I think they did say that they're doing some sort of a Ryzen thing in there. I'm not sure. I actually don't remember at all. They didn't really talk about that. I mean, the announcement was like controller is getting haptic feedback stuff. Ray tracing is hardware dedicated. The controller is going to be kind of a bit heavier, but still lighter than most other controllers. It's going to have an SSD. I don't know how big it's going to be. And that's really all I remember. And I guess it's releasing 2020, holidays of 2020. So probably Christmas. Christmas is when PS4 came out. So that would make the most sense. But yeah, I mean, cool, I guess. Hopefully shit will be a little bit nicer, a little bit more graphical fidelity or something. I don't know. But I don't think it's going to be much beyond that. I think it's really just going to be that. Yeah, it's cool to get hyped for it. I think that's the thing. While I'm not excited, I haven't been excited for a console's release in a long time, it's nice to be excited for the next level of performance. Because now the metric for which games are made to meet the benchmark for games to get to, is now going to be pushed up to the PlayStation 5 level, the Xbox Scarlet PlayStation 5 level. So I'm excited for that. That's what I'm excited for. That means we're going to be getting a little bit more out of our games. I'm hoping that a little bit more out of our games translates to more mechanical stuff, more gameplay, less. I think we're at a graphical point where things look fine. Things are all right. Things are going well. We've got all these indie dudes out there that are trying to utilize this stuff without breaking the bank, right? Because they don't have lots of money. And they're making some stuff that still looks really janky, I would like it if a lot of that extra power could be used to facilitate cheaper games. You know what I mean? Like they can make cheaper games with better technology. That's what I'm hoping. The price of making a game might go down because we're literally just upgrading to new computers here. And so new computers are going to be able to do the same thing they've always done but better. And sometimes that means cheaper, but not always. So it's kind of difficult to say what's going to happen. But I'm hopeful. I got my fingers crossed that games will just be bigger. They'll have more mechanics to chew on. There'll be less focus on making movies. There'll always be movies, but I'm hoping that they will focus on making games packed full of things and stuff to do. Because it's always just been the other way right now. But yeah, that's still a long ways out. We're talking over a year, right? I mean, it's only October, and it's not going to be until next year's Christmas. So we got over a year to wait. But it's cool. I'm hoping for the best. I'll get excited. I mean, I'll probably schedule some time off or something, and we can have a release party or something. We'll have a release stream for PS5 and just see how it goes. Maybe if they do conferences or something, I can try and restream those, and we'll just keep tabs on what the systems are like.